right, it has been a minute since a video update. Let me tell you why. Went out after the last video you guys saw. Thought I was Lewis Hamilton, I don't know, Jeff Gordon, that a one-day test I was gonna be like immediately faster, learn everything I need to learn about the car. Well, that didn't happen. We had some issues with the catch can overflowing because we moved it down just enough when we tubbed the fenders that when I braked super hard, oil was running up to the catch can port, getting in a line, and because it was lower, it wasn't draining. And I'm talking about this much difference. See these two holes here? To here. That was enough difference to make this thing overflow in 5 laps and then knock the belt off. So we lost 2 sessions to figuring that out. And then we had one good session where it was about a second faster. And then the next session, it shot the belt off again because I've learned that that's a problem on 07Ks when you rev them as high as we're revving them. So this video is about solutions to those problems. And we signed up for a 3-day test at the end of this month before we go to Daytona with the Champ car to get actual testing done. So new suspension's coming. And today we're working on getting the new strut tower welded on because we've decided to go drastically different on the camber and the caster setup. And I'll show you. So anyways, look at that sketchy suspension setup. So we figured out on the alignment rack where the strut needs to land, which is about here, to get a lot of caster out of it. So now you'll see that we're gonna finish getting this thing welded on there. Gonna do the other side, and then we'll use the original camber plate piece right here. And then go back to the alignment rack, figure out exactly where we want it. Drill 2 holes, drill 3 holes, weld some nuts and studs on there, and then boom, new alignment spec. So that is today's project. I'm tired of cutting and welding on this old girl, but we also, I don't know, kind of the elephant in the room. Lexan window time. We're trying to find more weight to get out of it. We decided to pull the spoiler off because we don't have enough weight over the rear of the car anyways. And you kind of want the downforce where the weight is, which is where our splitter's at. So getting that done. Getting the airbox figured out. I had some DTM style mirrors shipped in from Germany, which I'm all excited about, and the guy sent me the wrong adapters, but those are going to go on there eventually, somewhere in that area. And then we got an aluminum dash that I'm going to put on this thing so I can move the Haltech dash in front of me. I got to move the clutch pedal stop up a little bit because we bent the clutch pedal a little bit. And then you see cardboard and cardboard to make Lexan windows. What else? Since the last time I saw you, Smarty Cam to go with our Solo 2 DL. So now we got full data, and maybe I'll post a lap with some data on it so y'all can see that. And then the coilovers have finally shipped. So coming along. This is my fireproof, not fireproof blanket. So bam, strut tower. Number 1, done. And then this is what it looked like before. So now I gotta do the other side. Maybe eat a sandwich in between. All right, as typical, many hours later, and this was way more involved than I thought it would be. So this one is done. Those are welded in, the nuts are just holding them in place. It's primered. I gotta wipe it down now because it's dirty as shit. I gotta still weld the nuts in over here, but you get the idea. It's gonna go further back. So, coming along. All right, another Saturday burned up, but let me tell you, the street drive feels really, really good. And I think the wide body throws off on how much camber you can actually get, but they're back there, so if I get inspired tomorrow, which is Sunday, I'll come up and use the fancy aligner and get this thing all straightened out. But it's a wrap for tonight. I think it looks a lot better with a dash panel. So it'll be cool because I'll be able to mount my aim, like probably somewhere in this area. Mount my aim, my dash, and then my aim will go here, and I'll be able to get all the sponsor stickers on there. That really finishes up the interior. Made a template on a cardboard, and then cut it, bent it, put the bolts in upside down, and hammered it so I knew where my bolt holes were. And there you go. But man, I can't get enough of looking at this car. The Koenig wheels are sweet. I mean, because before you couldn't see these giant brakes we bought, but now you can. Well, jacked her up, got the crank pulley today, and I did this. Check this. There's a couple crank pulley bolts, and look at that guy. So I'm gonna go grab the grip edge and see if that takes it out. And get that pulley out of here. Alrighty, so this is your standard 07K crank pulley, and I guess what everybody tells me is this is a rubber bonded, and there it is. Rubber all the way around, and you can see those kind of little micro cracks. So that thing is going in the trash can, and we're getting this one, which is hydraulically filled. So this is all filled with oil. There's your part number. And we're gonna go to the dyno on Saturday and see if it picked up anything. All right, productive Thursday, 6:30. Get ready to get out of here. So, relocated the Haltech dash. Sweet. Got the regular dash in there. Sweet. AIM Solo 2's mounted. Come down here. Dead pedal, because I'm a notorious clutch pedal rester, so this stops it. Move the clutch stop. So, got a lot done today. Tomorrow, I'm going to, because everybody says this thing should make more horsepower than it does. You saw earlier that we got the crank pulley on there from the TTRS. Everybody's saying these should make more horsepower, like 205, right? So the plan is to compression test it tomorrow, and then I'm going to use some Liquid Moly Magic product, because we're assuming that the rings are wore out or carboned up from sitting. But we're going to do a compression test tomorrow. We're going to hit it with an oil flush kit after it's hot, and put some down the cylinder holes, try to clean this thing up, and see if we can get that compression up. Because even if we get it up 5 pounds, that could be 2 horsepower, which when you're only trying to make 199, those kind of numbers matter. So stay tuned. That'll probably be a separate video for Instagram, but dude, I love this thing. Can't wait to drive it next week. 3-day test. Here we go. All right. So the fine people over at Silver Suspension, right? We've used them on everything. My Tourag's got them. My Porsche's got them. The drift car's got them, and now the Jetta's gonna have them. So these are custom valved and custom spring rated for what we're gonna use them for. So super duper excited. It is Saturday morning. Leaving the house, going to the dyno. See if we can pick up 5 horsepower and rev this thing higher. So stay tuned. So, I got my brother here helping me. Got the burrito. You just ate a burrito. Got the spring off. So we're gonna line that back up, get it back in the top strut mount, and then we'll get the bump steer set up, put on here, and we'll measure it. Right, So this is made for a late model, not for a little Volkswagen. So roller arm there. Homemade plate, because again, 4x100. And then we got our dial indicator set up here. So as I run my Volkswagen floor jack through its range of motion, you should be able to see that change. Maybe. All right, again. 1, 2, 3. All right, that's as much as I get. That's into the bump stop. All right, so that's into the bump stop. So as we come back down, about an inch away from the bump stop. So at compression, which is that, we run out of travel. Actually have 30 inches of suspension travel. All right, now time to do some maths. Internet world, we've leaned the shock back so much that we've had to go back to the original tie rod location. So remeasure this again, and then you can kind of see our plot points, right? So initial measurement, 5 thou. Added those 2 washers, jumped to 802 at the same travel. So then we flipped the tie rod over, got down to 395 and 320. So we're trying to get these 2 numbers to get close. So we'll see what it is now. All right, so this is our, I think a 450 pound, 90. This is going to I think a 650 pound spring, or 625. A little different. There's our old BC shock. This sucker is from 2013 or 14, I think. So, served us valiantly. Now onto the silver unit. Remote reservoir. I'm taking these off so we can measure kind of shock travel at the racetrack. But going back together, notice we have the tie rod kind of in the factory location. Try to get that bump steer out of it. Been a very polleny day for me. Sunday, again, my wife is a saint, so she's at home doing plant projects, getting ready to put some pavers in. So shout out Silvers. This lower part that bolts onto the knuckle has actually got a bigger slot in it, so you get more adjustment here, forward and backwards for camber. So we got way more camber, which is good because I wanted more camber. We have way more caster. So the video earlier, see, we're messing with bump steer. This is the US, and everybody says I have no roll center correction. So look at that. That's 3 inches of a drop ball joint, and that is roll center correction on a stock ride height-ish vehicle, maybe 2 inches lower, with level control arms. That is where you want your tie rod to be. Our car, because we've increased the caster so much, we've leaned that tie rod back, right? So now the tie rod's way low. So we were measuring bump steer all yesterday, and that is about as good as I can get it without chopping this off and moving it down. Now hopefully the USRT people, for people like us here at Panzer who are making, I don't want to call them serious race cars, because a lot of guys make serious race cars, but we need more adjustment. So they're making a serious knuckle. They're making the best knuckle that's ever going to go on one of these cars. I'm not going to tell you about it, but it'll have more bump steer correction and roll center correction, be lighter, take a better bearing, a bunch of good stuff. Hopefully get it on the car mid-season. So here we are, getting this all set up. I got the ride height set yesterday. I had it on the alignment rack, and I liked everything I saw, except I couldn't get the toe to adjust equally, so I had too much bump steer in it. So, because what you're trying to achieve is these two guys, this control arm and this tie rod, to move together and not change the distance between the two. So we had a little bit too much bump steer because perfect was nothing. It was flat against this, but you can't do that because then the heim doesn't move. So that is the smallest amount I can run where the heim still is not bound. So it's gonna live up here, like so. And we'll put her back together and then on to the rear. So here we are with the old BCs next to the new Silvers. So you see I got the remote reservoir. We custom ordered that length. That's about as long of a hose as you can run where the valving time isn't slow. So we're getting the shock height set up now, and we're close. Need to be a little taller on this guy, so gonna get him reinstalled in here and then get him set to ride height and then check preload. And then the front's all ready to go back together, and then we'll get back on the alignment rack. I kind of did a little bit of an alignment yesterday, and I'm real happy with the specs in the front after changing the strut towers and the lowers. So I also am grateful, you know, my wife's cool enough to let me do this on weekends, and I got an awesome shop, an awesome team, a bunch of awesome customers. And you know, not everybody gets to build race cars, not everybody gets to go racing. So just you know, be thankful for stuff you got, guys, because out there in the world people that got less than us, and I'm done preaching. Whew. It is cold in Sebring this early March Friday morning, but we're here. Carlos is here with his GLTC car, so it'll be nice to maybe have a judge, but we're warming everything up because I'm cold, the car is cold. Should warm up though. It'll be cold till the sun comes up. So, new alignment time, we'll see what you do. All right, sit rep. We're not on stickers yet. The car turns real well, and I spun it backwards in 5, which I'll put the clip in now. Fucking bull, man. Ripped the fender liner out, did that damage to it. But she feels good, so I'll go run her again a couple times and see how much, if I can get it any faster, but feels faster, is faster. So sit rep, things have been going well until, yeah, until that happened. So me and Pete are back in Bradenton now, about an hour and 40 minutes after we started. We're gonna, I guess, I'm gonna torch the, he's gonna drop me off and go pick up the bearing from AutoZone. And I'm gonna torch the axle nut off. And then hopefully we'll be able to put the new bearing in with the old hub, and then bolt the new axle in, and then bring that all back to the shop, put it back together. So, not too bad. Car's fast, feels good, turns good. And then this all came because the brake pedal got really long because the rotor was hitting the caliper. So race car stuff, guys, it's always fun, isn't it, Petey? Boom, what a day. Heading back to the shop, 6:30. Okay, assembly's back. We're gonna put her back together. Well, Pete drove me 3 hours yesterday, and we fixed the hub. Bled the brakes again last night. Getting her warmed up. Gonna go run the warm-up laps, make sure everything feels normal. And it is unseasonably cold for Florida. But it should be nice when the sun comes up, so we shall see. Shout out Liqui Moly. Put some of the oil in this morning. All right, so successful first session. Car feels really, really good. So we blew that hub up yesterday. This hub in the morning felt like it had a little bit of, excuse me, a little bit of play in it. So we torqued it, loosened it, torqued it. I went out and ran a session, and now it's fine. So I sent Petey Pablo to the Harbor Freight so we can get all the stuff I need to change it, like the on-car bearing puller and stuff. The power steering was hosing out of there because it gets pretty hot when you do a long session, so it's kind of made a mess. But the car feels super fast, super good, turns amazing. So really, shout out to Pete, man. He's the MVP. When that hub broke yesterday, I was ready to call it quits for the weekend, right? So, but now our new problem, because you know it's a race car, is the data logger, which is brand new, has decided to just pack up shop and leave and not work anymore. So I texted my buddy over at AIM to see if he can tell me anything to do to try to bring this thing back to life, because this is kind of the point. But all in all, good day. Situation report. It's Sunday. We're back home. Car actually ended up, after Friday's escapades with the bad hub, ran out of gas once because the fuel gauge, I had a dumb idea when I calibrated it to be like, oh, I'll never run less than 5 gallons in the car until we weighed it. So I ran out of gas on Saturday. They towed me back in, put gas in it, fired back up, recalibrated the fuel gauge. That's all good. So now we're pretty much in the final stages to this thing. I'm very happy with how it drives, super happy with how it handles. The motor, it's like 3 horsepower down from where I really need it to be for the class. That is going to make a little bit of a difference. I didn't think new tires made a huge difference in lap time, or exactly feel right, but we'll bring them anyways because you know how it goes. So tomorrow I'm going to drop it off at Prime Vinyl. They're going to wrap it, and then the next part of this video will be what we're going to do to prep it for CMP. You know, the last minute stuff, the stuff we'll do every event to get it ready for an event. But yeah, man, the Grid Life season starts. It's crazy. It's come so far, so long, so much work and time and effort have gone into this car. And you know, I was out there with a guy running his GLTC car who's got, you know, 8 million laps at Sebring and has been racing longer than I have, and he was faster than me, like a couple seconds. And he's like a mid-packer in GLTC, but that was last year, and the car wasn't very good, and XYZ. So maybe this year we'll show up and he'll be a front runner. You know, I'm gonna temper my expectations in this video, and you'll talk to me, or I'll talk to you guys after CMP, and we'll see how my expectations are for Road Atlanta. But anyways, thanks for watching, and here is the splitter view of all the new suspension changes. Check it out.